Any percentage problem that you ever come across for the rest of your entire life, you're going to be able to handle it by using a proportion, the equivalence of two fractions. Namely, here's an example. What do we do for a warm-up? Watch this. Look at the one I used for warm-up. It was a proportion. I put 15 over 100 equaled x over 550 for warm-up. This is just an example. Notice how this is an equivalence of two fractions. Go to write that down. Every single time we come across a percent situation, we can set it up as a proportion, like I've been doing Mr. Van Cott's method, my 7th grade teacher. Let's quickly define what percent means again. Go ahead and write the word percent on your notes. Forget the mouse of cheese right now. Any fraction out of 100. So we got the word proportion, now we got the word percent. Any fraction out of 100, the symbol for percentage is that. Dig, Rosas, dig. This is what graduates do. We're going to graduate. Come on. Dig, like, dig deep. Those days you don't feel like working, that's when you got to do it anyway. Any fraction out of 100, the symbol for percentage is that symbol for percentage. You've seen that before. Now, we got the word proportion, we got the word percent. Last part of your notes, and we're done. Except for an example. I'm going to put a little star. The way to solve any, and I mean any, percentage problem is to use the following formula, part to whole, part to whole. Again, I owe this to my 7th grade teacher, Mr. Van Cott. The way to solve any percentage problem, and I mean any, get a better star here. Put a little star on your notes. The way to solve any, and I mean any, percentage problem is to use the following formula. Part to whole equals part to whole. Write it down. Where is that gizmo? Go ahead and write these 3 simple examples with space in between, and we're done with our notes. I'm going to go through each one fast, and we'll be done. Number 1 is 5% is what percent of 60, or 5 is what percent of 60. Number 2 is 5% of 60 is what number, and 3 is 60 is 5% of what number. Notice how they have 5 and 60 every single problem, but they're worded different. And that's going to make a big difference. It's going to make all the difference. And copy that down. I'm kind of feels good for me as a math teacher to give you something that you can actually use for the rest of your entire life, no matter where you're at. You can use this part to whole formula for any percentage problem that comes your way. No matter where you're at, work, play, doesn't matter. If it's a percent situation, you can use this. I'm going to use a part to whole formula for number 1, number 2, and number 3. I'm going to show you the power of this method. Watch this. Rosas, check this out. Notice the wording of each one is different, but they're all going to be solved by this formula. So number 1, do I see the word percent on number 1? So I'm going to go right, look at, boom. Without even thinking, I'm going to make a fraction on the left, fraction on the right, a proportion. Do that with me. Without even thinking about it, just boom, boom. Mr. Rodriguez, what does the word percent mean again? Perfect. Okay, without even thinking about it, I'm going to put a denominator of 100 either on the left or the right. Doesn't matter. You want to put the denominator on the left of the 100? Fine. Knock yourself out. Doesn't matter. So far, so good. Rodriguez just said percent means any number out of 100. Did they give us a percent on number 1? Did they give us any percentage? No, it's actually the unknown, huh? Look at what percent. It's a question. If it's unknown, hey, that's pretty easy. Cool. You can see the logic of this. And the other side is going to be the part and the whole. What's a part and what's a whole? Five and what? 60, yeah, from there. Yeah, maybe from here. It's kind of far. Look at, but what will be the part and what will be the whole, though? Rosas? Exactly. Now, look at here. I'm going to let you in a little secret. If you're ever deciding what's the part, what's the whole, whatever comes after the word of in English, inglés, whatever comes after the word of is the whole thing. So 60 came after the word of, so I know it's a whole. And 5 is a part, just like Rosa said. We're ready to rock and roll. Remember I tell you what Mr. Van Cott taught me? Once you have a proportion, it's easy to solve. Just cross multiply. 60 times x is 60x. Look at this. 100 times 5 is 500. Got to be kidding me. There's no way that this class is going to be this easy. Believe it or not, it is, Rodriguez. Divide by 60 by x is 500 divided by 60. I got 8.3 to the nearest tenth. Which really in this context is actually the percentage, huh? Because x is out of 100, so that's the 8.3%. Yes, sir, welcome. Not here today. She's actually medical leave right now. Oh, really? Yeah, because you got it. No problem. Cool. Again, this would be the percent because look at x is actually out of 100. We actually found the percent. What percent is 5 out of 60? Well, it's 8.3%. That's the percent. Look at number 2 now. You left some space underneath your notes. Watch this now. I'll put it in Dodger blue even though they lost yesterday. Same numbers, but look at the way we're going to set it up now. Is a word percent or the symbol percent anywhere found in number 2? You see a percent symbol anywhere? Then I'm going to do this. Look at equal, without even thinking. Fraction, fraction, a proportion. Watch this. Look at the power of this. I want to tap you into the power of this. Mr. Rodriguez, what does percent mean again? Look at. Pinello, did they give us a percent here at number 2? What is it? Look at. Without even thinking. What's the part? What's the whole now on the other side? What would be the whole though? 60 or the x? Right, because look at, there's a word of. Whatever comes out the word of in English is the whole. Unknown is the part. You got to be kidding me. Cross multiply. 60 times 5 is that 300? Yeah, 300. 100 times x is 100x. Got a simple dirt cheap equation. Let's get x alone. We'll divide by 100. X is 3. We're rocking and rolling. So what is 5% of 60? What's 3? That's what we found out. 3 out of 60 is 5 out of 100. Ready, Rosas? Last one. I'll put it in red. Does you see a percent symbol anywhere in number 3? So without thinking about it, part to whole formula. What does percent mean, Guerra? So look at without thinking. Medina, they give us a percent on number 3? Which one? Look at that. Without thinking. What's the part? What's the whole now on the other side. Sixties apart. Why? Of what number, huh? What came after the word of? What number? Look at. That's the question. It's unknown. Good. So 60s apart now. See the power of this. Any percent situation that comes your way for the rest of your life, it's part to whole, part to whole. You know what percent means out of 100? Keep going. I'm trusting you guys see the power of this. There's no more mystery under percentages at all, ever. There shouldn't be, at least. Let's cross multiply. 5x. Thank you. Help me out. Thanks. 5 times x is 5x. 60 times 100 is, I think, 6,000, if I'm not mistaken. 6,000 divided by 5, 1,200. So 60 out of 1,200 is actually 5%. 60 is 5% of 1,200, right? So the denominator is the whole. Let's summarize. Number one, the unknown was the percent. Look at where the unknown was. On number two, the unknown was the part. Look at where the x was. And at number three, the unknown was a whole. Look at where the x is. It'll only be those three situations. Because 100's always going to stay put. Because you're dealing with percent. Percent literally means out of 100. So 100 will always stay there. So you only have three options. Every time you deal with percent situation, it's here, here, or here is the unknown. Very simple. Part, actually percent, the part, or the whole. Which one's the unknown in the situation? All right, that's it for our notes.